now for a look at this morning's Sunday papers with the broadcaster Pete Price and author and international branding expert Alison Stewart. Alan, good morning to you both. A lot on mixed stories on the front pages today. And Pete, you've picked out the Mail on Sunday to start with. This news that the Health Secretary wants to overhaul the NHS and cut this red tape. Well, we've heard that before, haven't we?
We have indeed. But can I say good morning on this wonderful countdown to Christmas, just to depress everyone? I think this is a hell of a headline when you think about it, because it's, there are a lot of pen pushers, but there's a lot of pen pushers everywhere. The middle management, they say, is bloated in the money they earn. We are still 100,000 jobs down, and we have got problems with the NHS. And this is an incredible story talking about freeing up these places to put hundreds of thousands of pounds back into the NHS. But I think we've got to remember, first of all, we've been in a pandemic, we've got major problems, and I think that the people who use the NHS have got to do their bit as well. They've got to have their flu injection, they've got to have their COVID injection, they've got to stop wasting time in A&E, they've got to remember when they're sitting there for 6 hours or however long it is, that they're getting the tests back, the results back. They've got to go to appointments and stop messing about. So we need to do our bit as well as this, but we do need to get rid of some of the pen pushers, as they call them, the middle management, who earn a lot of money. And those 100,000 staff we need, where are we taking them from? Other countries that need them. So we have got a major problem, but we still got a great NHS staff out there that work their socks off.
Certainly, and aren't we eternally grateful for them? Alison, I'm glad you picked out this next story from the FT on Qatar's decision to ban alcohol in stadiums at the World Cup. Now, as an international branding expert, what do you make of this? Of course, that Budweiser is a huge sponsor for FIFA.
Of course they are. They spent, I think it's £63 million for the privilege of being a headline sponsor. And let's not forget that this agreement was struck 12 years ago. So for 12 years, Budweiser, owned by AB InBev, has been planning how it's going to deliver the beer, where it's going to deliver it in the 8 stadia, and it paid £63 million for access to fans. Now, 2 days or so before the actual World Cup starts, they get this decision that FIFA and the Qatari authorities somehow have come to an agreement that no, you're not going to sell the alcoholic beer in the venue locations that we first agreed. We're going to restrict you only to the corporate hospitality areas, special fan areas that you need to pay extra to get access to. So, number one, I think this is a really busy weekend for the lawyers of ABI and Budweiser to look over what, penalties accrue on the back of this. And changing the rules 2 days before really will cause a lot of the other sponsors to get very, very nervous, because it looks random and it looks volatile, and it's very concerning if you've paid all of that money to be a sponsor, and then suddenly 12 years after the agreement is struck, the rules are changed 2 days before. So it really casts a lot of doubt on how we perceive FIFA, how companies and the public perceive, the Qatari authorities, and perhaps even how we perceive Qatar as a country brand more generally.
Yeah, certainly was an extraordinary move just so late in the day. Certainly an expensive decision, as you say, Alison, I'm sure. Nevertheless, Pete, something that Gianni Infantino, the head of FIFA, touched on yesterday is, Qatar has come under a lot of criticism, hasn't it? This is no normal World Cup. Tell us more about what you've been reading on the Sunday Express today.
It's the most amazing story. If you see, we've got the world press sitting there, and this man goes on the biggest rampage of all over the place, talking about disabled people, talking about being Qatarian, talking about being gay. It's the most bizarre speech. This is the man that said, please, let's concentrate on football. Let's leave all the politics behind. Well, I'll tell you, sir, from your Swiss home where you don't know what the real world's all about, and this unbelievable deals that have been done over Qatar, which shouldn't be there at all. As a gay man who lived illegally in this country as a gay man, because that's how old I am, I know the pain that people will go through, and that's just one group of people. You are a disgrace. It's a disgrace. And you've taken our Premier League from us. We're knackered with all our football in this country. So he has lost the plot.
Really interesting take. And Pete, as a gay man, would you be happy going to the World Cup in Qatar?
I would not, never in a million years, I wouldn't feel safe at all, because even behaving myself, and by the way, when you go to another country, you have to abide by the rules. I understand that completely, but not over my sexuality. I am what I am, and I've lived through it, and it was terrible. And when I was growing up, if you were illegal, you could go to prison. So I know the pain, but make no mistake, there are hundreds of thousands of Arabs who are gay that live in total fear.
And certainly it's a huge talking point, Pete. I'm sure we're going to hear lots more about it in the coming weeks. And Alison, another big commercial venture, if you like, Adele's Las Vegas show has finally opened. Tell us more on that.
Well, she was very nervous, according to the reports, but she was absolutely delighted to finally get back to American audiences, and particularly Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, and be, the star attraction for the coming weeks. Rumor has it, pardon the pun, that the secondhand tout ticket market for a ticket to her show was selling at $45,000 per ticket, which means you must have some pretty serious fans if they're prepared to pay that kind of money to go see her. But, having seen her myself over the summer at Hyde Park, she is absolutely magnetic as a live performer. She absolutely connects with the audience, and she, in this article, suggests that she connected easily and again with her audience here in Las Vegas as well. So she's just an incredibly wonderful performer, and obviously I'm very biased here.
Yeah, and someone just said in my ear, Alison, that the 45 grand a ticket price maybe made her a bit less nervous about going on stage. What do you reckon?
I think you're absolutely right. Yes, I do.
Pete, the front page of the Sunday Telegraph, don't cave into pressure to giving your kids a smartphone. What's that saying?
I'll tell you about that, but can I just say about Adele, let's not forget all the fans that were incredibly disappointed and lost a great deal of money going from all over the world to Las Vegas. Anyway, on to my story. It's interesting because Dame Rachel says that don't give it to children over smartphones. Buy them old-fashioned phones, because we have to protect children from the internet and from what's going on in the real world. And I understand her logic completely and utterly. And when the children say, but my friends have got smartphones, don't give in to them. But the bigger picture is, in the real world, unfortunately, they're going to have smartphones. They're bullied if they haven't got smartphones, and their smartphones are their life. But I agree with Dame Rachel. We need to get kids out of the room. We need to get kids off their phones. It's easy for them to find porn. It's easy to find ways of committing suicide. It's easy for them to find so much. So maybe she's right. Maybe this Christmas, ladies and gentlemen, buy your children some old-fashioned telephones.
Is that even realistic, though? Alison, a quick thought from you. Get your child a Nokia. They're not going to have it, are they?
No, they're not. They want a smartphone. They want to see Instagram. They want to use all the features that a smartphone has to offer. But I think it's incumbent on the platforms, the Facebooks, etc., to make sure that kids are not harmed.
A terrifying minefield for parents, isn't it? Pete and Alison, thank you so much. We'll see you again next hour. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Still to come here in the next hour on Sky News Breakfast. For the first time in history, an agreement has been reached to fund countries affected by climate change. We'll bring you the latest in the next hour. Do stay with us for that news that's broken overnight from COP27.